반복된 시스템 이제서야 끝을 내보려 해. Alright 지겨운 시스템 누군간 여기서 내려야 돼.
Oh shit I do an O 너 때문에 알았어 왜 사람과 사랑이 비슷한 소리가 나는지 You make let's rely Let's rely 너 때문에 알았어 왜 사람이 사랑을 하며 살아가 하는지 How are you at 거리멀
서로 마음이 없다면 서로 생각 안 했다면 우리가 이리 겹치지 그랬을까. 이제 마음이 없다면 이 시선 위는 위험해 내 생각.
Is this love? Yeah. Is this love? Yeah. Sometimes I know yeah. Sometimes I don't yeah. 이상 비싸 뭐라고 쓸까 많은 말이 날 울지만 내 마음 같은 게 하나
is anything like that, please feel free to let Mars or Mackenzie know with context, or you're welcome to contact us.
Everyone. Yeah. I'm Tasha. I'm gonna just talk about what BTS tell us about global citizenship and Korean. Yeah. First of all, I'm really happy to be here with one of the members and contributors and presenters and participants, and also I'm researchers, and I've been a lot of interest in the just BTS academic level of just content, and also I'm a big fan of BTS, and also I'm ARMY. So I'm gonna talk about the global citizenships, and this is one of my researcher topics, and over the past 10 years, and um, just I feel personally what BTS tells us about global citizenship and Korean. So I'm going to decide to get prepared this presentation. Oh, welcome to Connect the 2021 BTS and ARMY conference. This is conference. Yeah, I'm Tasha, and my team members on Sarah and Diana. Yeah, they're gonna also just get presentation for us. So yeah, our just avatar pictures. So Tasha is the main speaker. So 삼계탕. Yeah, we just doing with the 삼계탕 podcast. And I am the International Youth Media Press researchers. And I'm also working for the APAC, member of APAC teachers researchers. And Sarah is a member of 삼계탕 podcast and UNEP researchers. And last presenter in video is Diana, a member of 삼계탕 podcast and International Youth Media Press researchers. So some of our army or researchers are participant and panels expect us like Korean version. Yeah, Global Citizenship in Korean, 세계 시민 교육이라고 합니다. 네, 전 지구적 이슈와 교육생 내면의 이야기를 모두 다루는 거라고 볼 수 있겠는데요. 몸을 이용한 활동, 또 함께 나누는 대화, this kind of conversation, 그리고 시민과 디지털 시민과 확장된 의미의 시민과 함께하는 다양한 선한 영향력을 전파하는 그런 캠페인이라고 할 수 있겠는데요. 일종의 공동체를 경험하고 실천하는 과정입니다. 자, 그렇게 해서 Global Citizenship Education, 한 가지, 여러 가지 이제 주제가 있겠지만 제 가장 마음속에 깊이, bottom of heart, 마음속 깊이 제가 이제 주제를 가지고 쭉 지난 수년간 연구해 왔었던 것인데요. 아마도 BTS는 Global Citizenship Education 분야에서 굉장히 중요한 어떤 practical knowledge and practical example 이런 것들을 보여줬다고 생각을 해요. 그래서 이렇게 이야기를 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 여러분들의 세상을 만들어 가는데 어떠한 세상을 또 기다리고 있고 어떠한 세상을 만들고 있나요? 여기 BTS가 아마도 중요한 메시지를 주는 것 같습니다. I strongly believe the BTS teach us and tell us about the significant factor or just main contents or just good positive messages of practice of global citizenship. And when you are thinking we're going to be able to build up your world, we shouldn't think about just global citizenships, respect for diversity and solidarity and shared sense of humanity. When it comes to just listening the BTS music, yeah, we should share this kind of feeling and experience, right? 예, 그렇게 해서 제가 준비한 것들은 Are you ready? 여러분들은 글로벌 시티즌십을 갖기 위해서 디지털 시민으로서 그리고 글로벌 시민으로서 준비가 됐는지에 대한 오늘의 이야기를 한번 해볼 건데요. 네, 그래서 첫 번째로는 먼저 BTS 스피치에 대해서 한번 같이 알아보려고 해요. 이 프레젠테이션은 크게 두 가지로 나눠질 수 있을 것 같아요. I'm getting prepared for this presentation with the two main part and two language version in English and Korean. Yeah, for this, we're gonna divide our presentation into two main part with two speakers, and Sarah and me. I'm gonna cover with the BTS speeches. I'm gonna go over and look closely what they are telling us about speech. 여러분들 이미 스피치는 굉장히 많이 이제 소셜 미디어에서도 알고 계실 거고 찾아보신 분들도 계실 텐데 정말 자세히 이 이야기를 들어보신 분이 있을까? 그럴 수 있을 거예요. 있으실 거예요. 그렇지만 어떠한 관점에서 보셨을까? 이게 저의 궁금증이었습니다. 아마도 BTS가 우리들의 Global Citizenship, 그러니까 세계 시민성을 향상시킬 수 있도록 하는데 큰 도움을 주지 않을까? 그래서 let's get started with BTS guide. How do I do this? 여러분들이 이런 질문을 할 수 있을 것 같은데요. 그래서 스피치를 통해서 그 힌트를 좀 알아보았으면 좋겠습니다. We're gonna get some great hint of getting your world and getting global citizenship. 자, 먼저 첫 번째로 김남준. He said, "What is your name?" 이름이 뭐냐고 물어봤어요. 그때 얼마나 가슴이 뛰던지요. 여러분도 그러지 않았나요? 그때 콩닥콩닥 뛰었던 그 마음. 그 마음은 어떻게 설명하기가 어려웠어요. 내 이름을 말하라고 하는데 굉장히 가슴 설레는 그 메시지였거든요. 그때 있었던 BTS and UNICEF celebrate a love myself. Love myself. There's a lot of messages for me, for us, for ARMY, right? 자, 그래서 during the process, we also strove to love myself ourselves, and as we as a team, as an individual grows as well, and we hope that many people felt how the love received from others and can become the power that allows them to love themselves. 이런 것들에 대해서 조금 생각을 해봤던 것 같아요. 그때의 메시지를 이렇게 생각을 해보면 맞아, 내 자신으로부터 한번 시작해 보는 거죠. When it comes to getting a global citizenship and thinking of the global citizenship, we should focus on ourselves. Love yourself and love myself. 굉장히 중요한 메시지가 있었는데요. 그렇게 이야기합니다. 이 젊은 세대들에게 굉장히 중요한 자리에 참석하게 돼서 큰 영광이다라고 얘기하는데요. 저도 역시 이 자리에 이런 컨퍼런스에 그리고 이런 라이브 스트리밍 할 수 있는 기회가 있어서 아미로서 그리고 연구자로서 굉장히 큰 영광인데요. 이 스피치 내용을 이렇게 자세히 들여다보면 이런 이야기가 있어요. I'd like to begin my talking about myself. So let's take one more step. 저도 여기서 하는 것이 제 자신 혼자서 BTS를 좋아하고 음악을 느끼고 거기에 감동받는 것을 넘어서서 내 자신의 이야기, 내가 이런 관점으로 한번 얘기해보고 싶어 라고 let's take one more step. This is one of the way that I can speak myself. 저도 저 자신을 이야기할 수 있는 한 가지의 방법이지 않을까? 그래서 I'd like to ask all of you, and I'd like to ask all of myself. What's your name? You're gonna share your story down below. 코멘트에 여러분들의 이야기를 또 나눠주시면 좋을 것 같아요. 여러분들은 어떠한 지금 스탠스 있고 어떠한 직업을 가지고 어떠한 자리에서 어떤 일을 하면서 또 힘을 얻고 BTS의 음악을 즐기고 계시는지요. 그들의 아티스트로서의 그 면모도 즐기고 계시겠지만 그들의 메시지도 분명히 즐기고 계실 거거든요. This is the significant message from BTS. I want to hear your voice and I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. 이 메시지를 이렇게 남기면서 맞아요. 그리고 이제 세 번째 최근에 스피치에서는 이러한 메시지를 남기면서 우리에게 force for good, love yourself again, and permission to dance. 여기에 메시지는요, 또 다른 감동이 있었습니다. 자, 그 감동에 대해서는 우리 one of our researchers, 우리의 연구자 한 명인 다이애나가 이야기를 해주실 텐데요. 그럼 비디오 한번 공유해 보도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, Army. My name is Diana Park, member of Samgyetang, and also I'm studying on Global Citizenship Education and International Youth Media Press. Well, it's my great pleasure to be part of this Connect online BTS ARMY celebration. Thank you for inviting me. Well, as a huge fan of BTS, today I'd love to talk about how they tell us about global citizenship. Do you remember the music video of Permission to Dance? In this music video, BTS used sign languages with three very important words. The first one was enjoy, and second one was dance, and the third one was peace. Yes, they are delivering this message to everybody. What is it? Peace for the vulnerable. Now, to deaf people, music is one of the most distant genre of culture. But with this music video, with using sign language, they help to bridge this distance. That was amazing. That was an amazing music video. When I first watched the music video, I was so touched and I could understand their strong message. Yeah. So I want to say that BTS is, influencing many areas, but especially for peace for the vulnerable with their music video, this amazing music video, and this great music. Yeah, this is what I want to say today. Hope you guys all have fun with this great celebration. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
We didn't stop at end-to-end
So yeah, this is Diana's messages about BTS embrace the vulnerability and connect with the fans with their messages of dance. And I can figure it out. Oh, this is a sign languages. So I was touched about the messages and dance and choreographies help the amplify the song's messages, and which is about everybody staying strong among the pandemic situation that he had lasted for well over years. And sign language, their dance appears in Permission to Dance, the new track released by BTS. This is enjoy, dance, a piece of sign languages. So it means BTS trying to embrace vulnerability, connect with everybody. Yeah. So this is small step, that's no action. It's gonna be big messages and big difference for us, right? Yeah, and BTS speeches and UN General Assembly and some of the inspiring quotes about hope and future and climate change. 지구상에서 우리들이 다뤄야 될 몇 가지 주제들에 굉장히 이제 감동을 줄 만한 그런 스피치들을 이야기를 하면서 몇 가지를 제가 이렇게 가져와 봤습니다. 네, 그 중에서 이 문장이 저의 마음을 울렸는데요. There's something sentence that I carved deep into my brain and bottom of my heart. This is a sentence, a great sentence and quote. There will be choices we make that might not be perfect, but that does not mean there won't be anything we can't do. 너무나도 아름다운 메시지죠. 맞아요. Sometimes it feels like the world is just stuck in place. 여러분, 코비드-19 기간에 얼마나 갇혀 있다는 기분이 들었어요. 그런데 그들이 이렇게 이야기합니다. It feels like if you were lost your way, there was a time when you felt the same way. 우리 다 똑같은 걸 이렇게 경험하고 있고요. If we believe in possibility and hope, when the unexpected happens, we won't lose our way, but discover a new one like this. What is important are the choices we make when we are faced with the change, right? We cannot stand still when you are in the ideal time of our lives to take on new challenges. 자, 이런 메시지들을 보면서 우리들이 느끼는 것들 중에 하나는 우린 모든 걸 잃어버렸어. This is kind of a lost generation. No, welcome generation. We're gonna fix our generations, our world, and we are gonna build up your world. 이 메시지를 우리가 이제 마음속에 새기면서 저는 이 메시지를 결코 잊어서는 안 된다고 생각해요. Maybe you made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. I am who I am today. With all my fault, tomorrow I might be a tiny bit wiser. And that's me too. 예, 그래서 우리가 처음 글로벌 시티즌십을 생각할 때 우리 자기 자신에서 이야기를 한번 귀 기울여 보고 또 이야기를 시작해 보는 것. 그들이 던진 우리에게 굉장히 중요한 빅 레슨이 아니었을까 하면서 그런데 여기서 한 발짝 더 나아가자고 했어요. 한 발짝 더 나아가는데 그들이 BTS가 글쎄 love myself, love yourself, love ourselves 에서 하나 더. 우리들의 목표는 이게 아닐까요? 라고 제시를 합니다. 그 목표가 무엇인지 one of my research teams and she's kind of an expert in working for the UNEP and also one of the members of the podcast. Yeah, she's gonna cover this. She's gonna explain about this, what it is, global goal, SDG. Sarah.
Hello. Hi, Army and friends. Do you enjoy your time with Tasha now? This is Sarah Wang. I love and care youth voice like you. Okay, today, I'd like to share with you what Sustainable Development Goals is, which are our goal as a global citizenship, as Army shown to the world these days, right? So, the Sustainable Development Goal define the world we want. They apply to all nations to ensure no one left behind. No one. So BTS, explain importance of Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, BTS explained importance of the SDG last September. 지난 9월에 BTS가요, 그 76차 유엔 총회에 참석했었죠. 그 유엔 본부에서 Permission to Dance 공연을 펼쳤고요. 자, 여러분 BTS가 생각하는 그 글로벌 시티즌십이 바로 SDG와 많이 링크되어 있다는 거 여러분 알고 계신가요? 그래서 제가 오늘 SDG에 대해서 여러분들에게 조목조목 알려드리도록 하겠습니다. Okay, first of all, K-pop band, not only BTS, but also, K-pop band Blackpink has been named the first Asian musician to be named a United Nations SDGs advocate, right? And also, on September 19th, the member of Blackpink was formally appointed as an ambassador for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I also mentioned, last September, BTS was there too, right? And you hear about the speech from the Tasha, right? So what are the United Nations SDG and the SDG movement? The United Nations SDGs are a set of interconnected global community goals that address the universal human problems such as poverty, disease, as well as global environmental, economy, and social issues. So the SDG movement, when the world is experiencing a deeply unequal reaction to the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in developing countries, right? The moment for world leaders to display the bold ideas, actions, and solutions required to stop the COVID-19 pandemic. but the world on track to achieve the SDGs. The SDG movement held ahead of important meetings on food systems, climate, energy, jobs, and social protection is expected to provide the impetus needed to fulfill the decade of action and keep the SDG promises. Okay, I will tell you more about the SDGs now. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations members in 2015, provide a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet. Okay, they balance not only it's for economy, it is for social and ecological dimensions of sustainable development, and place the fight against poverty and sustainable development on the same agenda for the first time. So let me tell you about each goal one by one. First one is end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Despite considerable progress in the fight against poverty since 1990, you cannot imagine over 800 million people, like 70% women and children, still live in extreme poverty. Can you believe that? The new Sustainable Development Agenda will now aim to eradicate extreme poverty by 2030. The poor are the particularly vulnerable to economy and political crisis, loss of biodiversity and ecosystem service, and natural disasters and violence. To ensure that people who have escaped poverty do not fall back into it. This goal also envisages measures to strengthen livelihood resilience, including the establishment of social security system. Goal 2, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Already mentioned, undernutrition affects nearly 800 million worldwide. Sadly, most of them women and children. That's why we have to care about women and children as well. And some 70% people who are undernutritious rely directly or indirectly on agriculture for their livelihood. Hence, it is smallholder farmers who are at risk of undernourishment. Besides aiming to eliminate hunger, goal number 2 includes a target on ending all forms of malnutrition. Food quality, which is very important, as food quantity. Goal number 2 also incorporates economic aspects, such as doubling the agriculture productivity and income of small-scale farmers by 2030. Furthermore, it features provisions on sustainable agriculture to prevent increased food production from harming the environment. Okay, let's move on to goal 3. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Millennium Development Goals have made a significant contribution to improving global health. For example, the fight against disease such as AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, and also the number of malaria deaths has fallen by 60% since 2000. However, results have failed to because reducing child and maternal mortality, So education and food security influence the effectiveness of health program. And goal 3 continues. Okay, yeah, I will keep going. And goal 3 continues along the same line as MDG. For example, with regards to children and mortality as well as communicable disease. And all people should have access to good quality health care and medicine, including financial risk protection. Another objective for 2030 is to ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health care, including family planning, information, and education. Okay, goal number 4. This international community has reaffirmed the importance of education and good quality training in improving the living condition of individuals, also communities and entire society. That's why we kind of have this kind of event to share our idea and our thought, right? And drawing many useful lessons from the Millennium Development Goals. The new Sustainable Development Goal 4 goes behind children's primary education, highlighting in particular the link between basic education and vocational training too. Furthermore, it emphasizes equity and quality of education in a lifelong learning approach, two aspects which were not addressed in MDGs. So Goal 4 aims to ensure that all the children, have access to education and training appropriate to their needs and their context in they live. So this makes education a contributing factor in making the world more secure, sustainable, and interdependent, right? Okay, goal number 5. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Girls out there, listen to this. Gender inequality is one of the biggest obstacles to sustainable development, economic growth, and poverty reduction too. Thanks to MDG, on gender equality and women's empowerment, progress in enrolling girls into school and integrating women into the job market has been considerable. MDG 3 gave the issue, the gender parity, a lot of visibility, but its narrow focus meant it failed to address important issues such as violence against women, economic disparity, and low participation of women in political decision making. You know what you should do now, right? Okay, let's move to Goal 6. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanity for all. Access to drinking water, sanitation is a basic human right. And together with the water resource, a key determinant in all aspects of social, economic, and environment development. The MDGs incorporated target on drinking water and sanitation, but did not address other aspects crucial to sustainable development, such as water resource management and water management and water quality and enhancing resilience to water-related disasters. So I hope you to be care about these issues, goals, right? And goal 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Access to energy is an essential prerequisite to achieving many sustainable development goals, extend far beyond the energy sector, such as eradicating poverty, increasing food production, providing clean water, improving public health, enhancing education, creating economic opportunity, and empowering women. At present, 6 billion people worldwide have no access to electricity. Can you also believe that? While 2.5 billion rely on traditional biomass as a source of energy. So, goal 7, universal access to affordable, reliable, modern energy service, which is necessary. And okay, let's move on to goal 8. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. So, you guys have a decent work for? According to the current figure, over 200 million people around the world are unemployed, especially young people like you. So employment and economic growth play a significant part in combating poverty. It's all linked together, you know. So promotion of sustainable growth and green business practice and creation of sufficient decent jobs in a context of respect for human rights and planetary boundaries are a key important not only for a developing country but for emerging and industrialized economies too. Okay, let's move goal 9. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Investment in sustainable infrastructure and in scientific and technological research increase economic growth, of course, right? Create also jobs, promote prosperity. So infrastructure projects costing billions are offering over the next 15 years, particularly in developing and emerging economies. So goal 9 aim to build resilient infrastructure, promote industrialization, and foster innovation. Okay, and goal 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. Global inequality you might face these days, right? And this is a massive and present one of the biggest obstacles to sustainable development and fight against poverty. Inequality within many countries has been rising in recent years. Inequalities limit the opportunities for social groups to participate in and make significant contribution to social, cultural, political, and economic life. So, goal 10 focus on reducing inequality within and among countries. You know, can you feel within the army? We are all equal. We can meet anything together. We can share things together. Like through here, you know, we can share everything we have for our army. So let's enjoy, all right? Okay, let's move on. Goal 11 now. Make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So urbanization is one of the most significant development of 21st centuries. More than half of global population lives, of course, in cities, a proportion that is expected to increase to 70% by 2050. So cities drive local and national economies as hub of prosperity where more than 80% of global economy activities concentrated. So urbanization poses major challenges. Cities have an enormous environmental footprint. They occupy just 3% of the world's surface, but it's responsible for 3/4 of global resource consumption and 75% of global emissions. So, goal 11 aims to reduce the adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, particularly in terms of air quality. Yeah, you know, right? And waste management. So it calls for more inclusive and sustainable forms of urbanization. So we need to care and we need to be especially for women and children, older persons, and persons with disabilities, and provide access to safe and affordable housing and transportation systems. You know what it's goal 11 for, right? Okay, let's move on. Goal 12. We are almost there. So, goal 12 ensures sustainable consumption and production patterns. The world population currently consumes more resource than ecosystem can provide. So, can you feel it? Not really, but some yes, right? For social and economic development to remain within the carrying capacity of ecosystem, fundamental changes are necessary in the way society produce and consume. So Goal 12 calls for implementation of UN's 10-year framework of program on sustainable consumption and production patterns. It advocates environmentally sound management and chemical and all waste, as well as substantial reduction in waste generation through measures such as recycling. Goal 12 also aim to have food waste, encouraging companies to adopt sustainable practice and promote sustainable public procurement practice. And goal 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. Okay, these days, climate crisis everywhere. So climate change is a key challenge with regards to sustainable development. The warming of the Earth atmosphere is triggering changes in the global climate system that threaten the livelihood of large section of population in less developed countries, especially, while infrastructure and certain economic sectors, in particular, are vulnerable to risk of climate change in developed regions. Furthermore, changes in precipitation and temperature cycle are also affecting ecosystems such as forests, agricultural land, mountain regions, and oceans, as well as plants, animals, people everywhere. So, global carbon dioxide emission increases by over 50% between 1990 and 1912. I think this is a very hot issue to talk about, not here though, but I think even you are army, but we love world, right? So we need to care about the climate crisis, climate change as well. Okay, goal 13. Conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, marine resources for sustainable development. Pollution and overexploitation of our ocean are posing ever greater problem, such as an acute threat to biodiversity, ocean acidification, and increase in plastic waste. Besides, this industrial fishing and commercial use of marine resource, climate change here too, problem too, is placing marine ecosystem under increased pressure. So, continuously growing global population will be even more dependent on marine resources in future. And if you'd like to enjoy your future in the nice beach, we also have to care about the marine system. Okay, goal 15. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem. This is about the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity, vital to social economic development as well as human survival. everything, this is very near to us. However, there is evidence of an ongoing decline in biodiversity along with a loss in forest area that threaten human prosperity, of course. And biodiversity and forests contribute to poverty reduction. For example, by underpinning food security and human health, providing clean air and water, observing CO2 emissions, and providing a basis for environment development. This is very basic, why we have to care for our environment. Okay, let's move. Goal 16. We are almost right end of our SDG. This is goal 16. Promote peaceful, inclusive societies for sustainable development. The evidence shows that without peaceful, inclusive communities, you might feel an effective governance, development cannot be sustainable. For example, conflict affects countries at the furthest away from achieving the MDGs, Whereas in many other countries, the re-establishment of peace and accountable institutions have contributed greatly to achieve the MDGs. Goal 16 for 2030 aims to promote peaceful, inclusive society. We are all eager for it, right? As such, it advocates reducing all forms of violence, ending torture, combating all forms of organized crime. In addition, Goal 16 emphasizes significantly reducing corruption and bribery, as well as illicit financial and arms flows to ensure that, society are peaceful and inclusive. This is a point, peaceful and inclusive, to promote inclusive institutions and the rule of law and guarantee equal access to justice. Okay, this is the last one. Goal 17. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Successful implementation of these 17 sustainable development goals depends on comprehensive funding framework that goes beyond official development assistance commitment. Alongside public and private funding, the political sphere will also be expected to make a greater contribution to achieve the goals in question. In July 2015, the international community agreed to a new framework for financing and implementing sustainable development. These Goal 17 calls on developed countries to renew their commitment to allocate 0.7% of their gross national income to official development assistance. So there need a great mobilization of domestic resources to reduce dependence on foreign support, as well as enhanced international collaboration in science, technology, and innovation, and promotion of equitable multi-trading system. So Goal 17 also enhancing microeconomic stability and policy coherence in the interest of sustainable development. So we all covered 17, SDGs now. 지속가능 발전 목표가 이렇게 17개가 있지만 가장 중요한 것은 바로 이것 같아요. Love myself, love yourself. 우리가 이런 것들을 다 목표를 이루기 위해서는요, 우리 스스로를 사랑하는 마음부터 가져야 할 것 같아요. 바로 여러분들처럼. 여러분들은 여러분들 많이 사랑하시죠? 마지막으로 여러분들께 하고 싶은 말은요, 바로 이거예요. Love myself, love yourself. 감사합니다. 세라였습니다.
감사합니다. Thank you for you explain a lot about this sustainable development goals. Yeah, it's gonna be our goal. Now is also we should do with this goal. Have you heard about the BTS syllabus? Yeah, one of those just research or lectures in university or college. Yeah, BTS syllabus. This is one of my research and big dream. I'm gonna set up that. I'd like to set up these lectures and class. So I'd like to introduce this one of my just favorite researchers. University of North Carolina and Chapel Hills and Robertson. Yeah. Scholars and just literacy. Yeah, one of the main contents and just big messages from their research and their journey. And my research journey began with the question from my younger generations, younger kids and students. Do you know the BTS? You just start from this question, and I just I've been deeply getting into BTS. I'm totally absolutely became one of the army, like you guys, and we're gonna put together a lot of data from expert army. There's a lot of armies and expert army and specialist army. And I'm just curious about your question, your syllabus, and your curriculum. And so this is one of my dreams on designing of them, your dream and your interest about BTS and ARMY and related on this global citizenships. And Art of Experts, Time magazine called the BTS ARMY one of the most active online community in existence, right? Yeah. And this is a kind of a unique fandom because we're going to do something for good, right? And I strongly believe the army has critical expertise and experience that those outside of the community like. And so Sarah and I like to introduce and explain about SDGs goals. And personally, practically, BTS tells about the global citizenship with their song and global goal, sustainable development goal. So this is a practical knowledge and practical our just actions. Yeah, you guys are global citizen and Earth citizen, and we should take care of ourselves and Earth. Yeah, because there is only one Earth and only one. You is there's only one, and BTS is only one. It's very unique. 이것을 바로 한국어로는 대체 불가능하다고 해요. 대체 불가능한 소중한 존재. 소중한 존재가 소중한 메시지를 이렇게 이야기하고 있습니다. 제가 지금 유튜브에 이제 실시간 이제 코멘트를 보고 있는데, Marta, I loved your comment. Yeah, UN or just international institute or their group are trying to do a lot. It definitely needs a support from big leader like us, like BTS, like expert and specialist army, right? I strongly understand what you are talking. Thank you. So yeah, they're gonna show up this the start guide. How do I do this? Take action. 한 가지 사례를 좀 소개하려고 합니다. 이것은 바로 케이스 스터디, 제 연구 주제이자 케이스 스터디의 하나의 어떤 이제 띠이기도 하고 또 이제 요약본이기도 한데요. 자, 이제 제가 wrap up. It's gonna be end my presentation. Yeah. Firstly, BTS support partners with the UNICEF to end the violence against children, right? They also support everyone's right to learn. Yes. Third, BTS has continually stood up against risk, right? They help the most vulnerable access to life-saving healthcare with permission to dance. 5, they don't believe any child should be hungry. Okay, right. 6, BTS also care about the environment and climate change's impact on humans. 7, lastly, they want to help the people and army affected by crisis around the world, right? 여러분들이 만들어가는 그런 지구, 여러분들이 만들어가는 이 세상. Make every day Earth Day. 그들이 이렇게 이야기하는 이 메시지에서 한 가지 사례를 좀 소개할까 해요. 여러분 불을 탁 끄는 그런 Dark Selfie Challenge라고 아세요? 바로 이러한 장면인데요. 지구의 날 전국 소등 행사를 우리 BTS도 같이 챌린지에 참여했다고 해요. 그럼 내가 이 자리에서 뭘 할 수 있을까? What am I supposed to do for global citizenship and something for good? Think global, act local. 여러분 그 자리에서 한번 해보는 거예요. 이 다양한 이런 이제 문화적인 예가 있을 수 있겠지만 우리 스스로 할 수 있는 일. You are my universe. You're gonna embrace our earth. 우리 자신을 끌어안아보고 또 이 세상을 자세히 들여다보면서 같이 갈 수 있는 길을 모색하면 어떨까 그런 생각을 하면서 이렇게 마무리를 해볼까 합니다. 여러분들이 소우주라면은 여러분들이 그리고 우리가 끌어야 안아야 하는 이 지구상의 다양한 문제들은 우리가 가지고 있는 각자의 방에서 처한 문제가 아닐까? 그리고 또한 거기에 한 걸음 더 나아가서 우리들이 할 수 있는 일은 무엇일까? 반짝이는 별빛들, 깜빡이는 불 켜진 건물. 우린 빛나고 있네. 여러분들 각자의 방에서 이렇게 빛나면서 프레젠테이션 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다. We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth, chemically, to the rest of the universe, automatically. We are connected. Thank you, big thank you. 네, 이렇게 해서 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.